and how to do it and how to do it in the proper way. But this verse right here really is one that's kind of been my life verse and one that's I've been passionate about. It's 1 Peter 3:15. I wanted to read this to you guys. It says this: "But in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and respect." Always be prepared to give an answer for the reason of the hope that's in you. So I just want to challenge you guys with that thought to always be prepared. Now, if you're a follower of Jesus, people are going to question why you believe what you believe, why you do what you do. And it's our job to always be prepared to give a reason for the hope that's in us. Somebody comes to you and says, "Why do you follow Jesus? Why do you do that?" You need to be able to have an answer for the reason of that hope, right? Otherwise, if you don't, you're not going to instill confidence in the person that's talking to you. And if you don't have a reason, if you don't have a good reason for your faith, the faith that's in you, the reason that you have hope for a future, you have hope for even through the coronavirus, what's the reason of that hope, right? And, one thing Ravi teaches is faith can be a logical journey. It doesn't have to be totally blind and just, unreasonable. It is a reasonable faith. Actually, Ravi, if you follow his story, he's kind of on his deathbed, honestly, right now. He has cancer. He's an older guy, but but he's definitely not doing very well. Doctors said they've done everything they can for him. But he's got a great, amazing story of how he came to faith. He was from India, I believe he's from India, and so he was raised in a Hindu environment and culture, and basically came to faith in Jesus Christ when he came over to, I believe it was in Canada, and now he travels the world telling people about his faith. But I want to challenge you guys with this, and for a couple things. One is always be prepared to have an answer for the reason of the hope that's in you. If you have faith in Jesus and you're a follower of Jesus. And then it says, do it with gentleness and respect. Those are very key points that I think we miss when we're giving a defense of what we believe. Gentleness and respect. Because if you don't package the truth with those two things, it's not going to be received, right? And I'm thinking about this now more so than ever with all of this, the crazy stuff going on. And basically, what's happening is whenever there's something big in the world like this is going on, it's like there's this line drawn right down the middle. And you got to figure out which side of the line are you on. Are you for opening? Are you for closing? Are you for wearing masks? Are you not for wearing masks? Are you, do you believe the World Health Organization? Do you not believe the World Health Organization? Are you for Trump? Are you against Trump? Are you whatever? Like all this stuff. And there's this line drawn, and it seems like we're just always trying to get people to just believe what we believe, jump on our side, whatever it might be. One thing I would say is pick your battles. You can believe, it's okay to wear a mask, or or you should wear or you shouldn't wear, and you can do it. You can believe it and have civil discourse with people about it. But I'd say pick your battles. Some things just aren't worth battling over because there's so much emotions tied up into what people do. But when you are in some kind of transfer, debate, whatever you may call it, whether it's dealing with the coronavirus or whether it's dealing with another realtor that you're having a negotiation with, in a transaction. We must remember that whatever we do, however we present our side of the situation, has to be done with gentleness and respect. Gentleness and respect. And I've just, I've seen it go both ways. I've seen it go well because of that, because things are presented with gentleness and respect. And when it's not presented with gentleness and respect, then things tank, right? So it's just good practical advice in business and in real estate and in life. when you're presenting your case, when you're presenting your side, your viewpoint, think about those two words, gentleness and respect, and how you are going to present it and how it's going to be received, right? How it's going to be received. What do you guys think? I want to ask you guys, what do you think those words mean practically when you're in maybe a disagreement with a realtor on another side of a transaction? How can we apply those two words, gentleness and respect? And just finish by saying this, like, it's kind of opposite of what the world teaches, what we're taught passively, at least, is that you need to be aggressive and you need to dominate, whatever, the opposite of what this scripture teaches. But really, if you're doing that and you're dominating people, you're creating enemies of other real estate agents or other, people in this industry, whatever it might be. You're not accomplishing your ultimate end goal. So what does it mean to have gentleness and respect? How can we apply that in our business?
Just to really not have so much pride that sometimes I feel like realtors are trying to prove to be the winner, and to be the best negotiator over, other things. Yesterday, I have a great example. I have an agent that I'm working with, and she's very intense and just, you could tell she's sort of burnt by the industry, and she has a lot of just baggage, it seems like. And instead of pretending like I'd been in the business for a long time, I just diffused the situation by just asking her about her Mother's Day weekend, and then asking her questions, and then asking her, like, what kind of advice would you give an agent who's been only in the business for a couple of years? And that opened up a world of relationship for us and softened her so much that I was able to really get her to work with me much better than it would have been if I just, continued to pretend I'd been in the business for years. And, it doesn't mean that, I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but
that's good. Humbling yourself.
Yeah. Like, I still know that I'm good, and I still know that I know what I'm doing, even though I'm new. So I was like, I'm going to just reveal this to her. And she was so happy to share her wisdom.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, I mean, just elevating the other person, like, brings their guard down a lot of times, because I think you said it really in a good way, that she's been, like, burned by the industry. Some people can take it, some people can't, and when they're, when they've had some bad transactions and they've had some stressful scenarios, it hardens them and it makes them bitter and more irritable, and so they come into a situation and they're just like, you ever started talking to somebody and it was like they just started attacking you right away before you even really got into anything, and it's like, it's not you, it's the other person and what they've been through and the whatever journey they've had. And approaching somebody with gentleness like this, scripture says a gentle answer turns away wrath. So if you want to calm somebody's wrath, if you want to put the fire out, give them a gentle response. I think that's awesome. That's really good.
I think another thing with this is, like, the agents who, like, aren't necessarily, like, aggressive, like in Nance's example, like, I've obviously had that. I told you about that one guy, but like, when the agents aren't the best agents, or they're super naive, or they, like, don't know what they're doing, but they throw it in your face that they've been doing it for years, and they do know, like, Kat and I did a deal, and the agents just never answered our phone calls, never, like, they were just so bad, and it was so frustrating. And, like, I think what you're saying has to go with that. Like, as soon as you said that, I was like, I tend to get defensive. So, without, and not with them, but also be gentle with them, because they might have just been taught completely wrong. And maybe it's not my job to, like, teach this agent who's been in the business for 10 years how to do their job, but just be nice about it. And, that ended up making the deal, like, super easy and whatnot. But I feel like the opposite type of person too, like, maybe not necessarily the most aggressive agent, but the ones who just are super naive or don't really know what they're doing, but are just kind of, you get what I'm saying? Like, they might not be aggressive, but they just don't really know what they're doing. And we're like, what are y'all doing? The same concept applies to that too, I feel like, to make it successful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, a lot of people try to overcompensate for where they lack. That's human nature in a lot of ways. The bad side of human nature is where we're not confident in something. We'll overcompensate and try to say, I'm, to exude that they're great at what
Damon, you're muted. We can't
Nope.
hear you. We see you talking, but we can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, I see him talking.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear him.
Yeah.
Anybody else talk, Ashley? Oh, there you
I
go,
can
Dan.
hear him.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean, just the human nature is to, overcompensate when we lack confidence. And so, again, treating even that person with gentleness and respect, it's like the human way is to respect people who command respect or are respectable and all that stuff, that you got to earn my respect, right? That how many times you guys heard that? But how about we turn the thinking around and give people respect that maybe don't even deserve it, that don't appear to, have earned it from you. And I challenge you, I guarantee you guys, when you start doing that and thinking that way, your deals will go smoother. You'll have better relationships in this business, and people will respect you more when you respect them. But, not everybody is respectable, of course.
Sometimes we have to try really hard.
Exactly. Cool. All right. Sounds good. Ben, what you gotta do?
All right, are y'all there?
Yes.
Nice. I'm trying out Duke's little microphone today. See how that does.
Very clear.
Oh, that's good. All right, here is the quote of the week from Dorothy Day. The best thing to do with the best things in life is to give them away. The best thing to do with the best things in life is to give them away. I want to talk about the law of authenticity. And so yesterday I mentioned this great book that I read over the weekend. I'll mention it later on at the end, but read this book over the weekend, and it was about a parable and some different laws that this character in the book that you're following through the story learns. And one of them was the law of authenticity. And so he goes to this big conference, this big sales conference, and there's a top real estate agent on stage speaking. And she opens up by saying, 12 years ago, I turned 42 and I got 3 gifts. First gift was my best friend bought me a $100 gift card to JCPenney. And the second gift was all her 3 kids got together and arranged for her to spend all day at this spa, the whole day at this spa, getting her hair done, nails done, whatever you do at a spa, all day at a spa. And the third gift that she got that day was her husband walked out the door and never came back.
That doesn't sound like a gift.
Doesn't sound like a gift, but it was a gift. Now, this lady was a stay-at-home mom. She had never worked before. She had no skills for the marketplace. She was 42. She was overaged and underqualified for any job she tried to go after. And so she really struggled of how am I going to now support my family, my 3 kids with no skills and no job. And so her friend, somebody mentioned real estate. So she got her real estate license. She took the test, passed the test, got her real estate license, joined a brokerage, started going through the process, started training, started learning. She learned all these sale tactics. She learned all these different closes, like the assumption close and the trial close and the takeaway close and the soft close. She learned every close there was. She even listed them all from A to Z, every close. And the crowd was just cheering as she started chanting all these different kinds of closes. And then when she turned 43, 1 year later, 1 year almost into the real estate business, with all these sales tactics and closes under her belt, she had sold 0 homes. 0 homes. And she said, I don't think I have the skills, the value, whatever it takes to be a great real estate agent, because I haven't been able to get any buyer to work with me. I haven't been able to get a listing. I haven't been able to do anything with all these skills and this knowledge that I have. So she thought about it over the weekend and said, you know what? I'm going to quit. This isn't for me. I'm going to quit. And so she goes in Monday to get all of her stuff from the brokerage and from her desk, and she's done. She's quitting, but there was one appointment that she couldn't get out of, one last appointment that she had to go on. So she says, well, I don't care. I'm quitting anyway. So I'll go on this last appointment. So she goes on this last appointment, and on this appointment, she doesn't do any of her sales tactics that she's learned. She doesn't try any of these sweet closes and persuasion and all of this stuff. She doesn't even bring an MLS sheet with the information on the house. She didn't even give the person the price of the home. Like, she was so unprepared. She said she just kind of talked and shot the breeze and just asked questions and just kind of was herself, but yet it was the sloppiest appointment she had ever been on. And of course, the story goes on to say that lady bought that house and used this agent and referred other people to this agent. And the lady goes on to make a joke and say, I've sold a few homes since then. She's like the top real estate agent in her market. And the first year she sold nothing and was going to quit. It took her a year, she said, to open up that gift from her husband. A year. Because she said when her husband walked out the door, her self-esteem walked out with him. Her husband had seen her as more of a liability than an asset. The marketplace had agreed, and even the real estate industry had agreed. So she was going to quit just before her major breakthrough. The most valuable thing we have to offer this world is us. It's us. That's authenticity. There's something that you have that nobody else has. There's something that you can offer that no one else in this world can offer. And this is convicting for me because I love researching and looking at other people and looking at other examples and trying to portray and be someone else and do what they do, how they do it. But it doesn't work to try to be somebody else because that's not me. And that's not being authentic. What is it that you have that's authentic, that this marketplace, that this world needs? That's what you share. That's what you develop. That's what you work on. That's what you have to offer. This lady told this big crowd, I'm not here to sell you a house. I'm here to sell you on yourself. Because if you can tap into your value, into you, and you can offer that and give that away to people, that's far more valuable than any clothes you can ever master. Far more valuable than any script you can memorize. It's giving people you that makes the difference. That is authenticity. The best thing to do with the best things in life is to give them away. Make sense?
Good. That's from the Go-Giver?
Yes, from the Go-Giver. A very short read, a parable. It's definitely worth checking out. It's like a 2.5 hour listen on Audible. Definitely a good one.
Awesome. Thank you, man. I was thinking the other day, I was talking to somebody about this, but I listened to Ben's last talk about, where you're talking about the mindset and talking about, how to increase your value, dollar per hour you earn and all that stuff. And it was so good. I mean, I was just listening to it riding around in my car, and I started to think like, man, like what a privilege it is that we have people like Ben and you guys in this group who have been sharing your wisdom and your knowledge and your experience with us. And every person has something to share. Every person has something to share. But like, just looking at this, the relatively small brokerage that we have with 20 people or whatever we have, and I think we have like world-class training. I mean, I don't know if I'm biased, but I get more out of what you guys give than anybody else that I listen to on podcasts of, people who sell tons of homes or whatever, their claim to fame is. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Ben, and all of you folks who have been sharing, and every single one of you guys, because you all have something to give, and you got to have that mindset that you do have something to contribute. And like Ben said, it's you are the value. You being yourself, being authentic, that's the value that you have to offer, and you make us all better. All of you guys contribute. This group, being in a group like this, it's not about any individual. It's about the group being made better because the individuals are contributing to it in their own unique way. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate you, Ben. I appreciate all you guys and what you do and what you share. Because my voice gets boring after a while, so I'm glad other people talk too. All right, so quick announcements, a couple things. So we want to do a summer event like we've done last 2 years, which has been awesome. And I'm talking to Brittany. Is Brittany on here? Yeah, I'm talking to Claire. Well, I texted her this morning, so I'm trying to see. Do you know if she's still working at the drive-in, Brittany? Excuse me. Maybe Brittany's away from her computer.
Yes, sir. I believe so.
Okay. So maybe you can help me with this again. But so the last couple of years, we've had events where we roped off an area at the Goochland Drive-In. We paid for our clients to come in to have tickets that they reserved. And we paid for, I think, Brittany, was like a popcorn and a drink, right? And then so they could take their tickets up there. And it was awesome. It was fun. People loved it. It's always been a great turnout and a great event. And the drive-in theater is actually open right now. So they're one of the probably few things in the, in this business, in the entertainment business that are open, like in Virginia. But they have, they're spacing out a little bit and stuff like that. But, and hopefully the goal is we do something maybe late June, early July, and pick a date, pick a good movie that's like family friendly, something like that. And maybe we, we can actually get, closer to people and not have to stay 6 feet away and stuff like that. But again, it's just a great event. The same spiel you guys have heard me talk about, leveraging the company's events to grow your own personal business. When we pick a date, first thing you should do is just start contacting all of the people that you value in your business, all of your sphere, your past clients, your current clients, your future clients, people who you pretty sure, might do business with you one day if they ever bought or sold. Bring them in there, and then you become the hero, so to speak. You become the person that takes care of them, that pays for them, that gives them family entertainment. And it's a great way to grow your business. So we're going to announce a date. Do you guys have anything to add to that? Any ideas for those of you that did it last time, how we can make it better? Whatever, for those of you guys that were actually there the last times. No comments. All right. Well, so we'll just be talking about that in the coming weeks. It's going to be awesome. For those of you guys doing Agent of the Day, it's very important that you give Sarah a couple weeks heads up if you can't do it. So the schedule is out there. I think she's got it through June. So look at that schedule. Take a couple minutes to look at it. Look at the dates. If you can't do it, it's fine. Change it with somebody. Let Sarah know, whatever. But it's a challenge for her, when she gets up. And can y'all still hear me?
Again.
Yeah, they all
Everybody
hear
else
me.
hearing Daniel?
Yeah.
Weird.
So the it's probably because we're on the same network. Yeah, just give her some heads up. We're spending about $330 a day on lead generation, and it's designed for 3 people. Sarah and the 2 agents, and then we lose efficiency, and we can't just turn it up and down like each day. So it's important that you give her some heads up on that stuff. All right, give me some good things that have happened this week. I can start. Miss Betsy has 2 pending deals right now. Is she in here? I don't see her. She's got 2 under contract. That's awesome. Ashley did a great video highlighting just a town hall in Chesterfield. So she's been very consistent about that and doing something. I think every Monday, right, Ashley, is what you're doing, like a market Monday update, something like that. And
yeah, it was Kat's idea, and then we just kind of kept going with it. Like right when I joined the team, like way back when. So I probably look like crap when I do it.
the wind was blowing. It was funny, but you know what? That's authentic. I mean, it just showed the realness, honestly, of you, your personality. It's like, wind's blowing, I don't care, but you know, it's you. You know, it was funny.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, yeah, my friends that know me and all my clients that know me, I'm not gonna wear heels to every appointment. If they're like, hey, I want to go see a house and it's in 30 minutes, I'm showing up in my workout clothes. Like, they're like, you know, my clients know. So thanks.
Yeah, and it's awesome. You've been consistent with it. You've been very consistent, and you're targeting Chesterfield. You're making yourself established and known as the Chesterfield agent among your people, and it's obviously working. I mean, you're putting stuff under contract. You're working. You're showing property. It's being great. So y'all check out her videos. It's a great model to follow. Just something really simple. What's happening in the market? How many new homes have come on the market? How many went under contract? You know, basic stats like that. Pick an area and start focusing on that. Elena has 3 deals under contract. She just put another one. You know, Elena's going to have a great story to tell one day. She, you know, I'm already telling people she got her license on March 13th, I think, right? And then the governor shut the state down on March 15th. So it was like, okay, what a way to start your career. And you know, Elena will tell you there were times and moments where she doubted what her decision and what she was doing. But looking in hindsight, what are we 2 months into that right now? And she's got 3 deals pending. And this is after, you know, we try to set expectations that you get your new license. Might take 3 months, might take 4 months before you get a deal. Not too uncommon. But Elena's proved that, you know, you can knock 3 of them out in 60 days. And she's got more to come, and it's awesome, and she's got some momentum. So what else is going on? Tell me what's happening in you guys' world. Tell me, doesn't have to be necessarily pending deals, but good stories, things with you know, your clients and things in your business. What's going on?
Well, I have my new listing in Chester, and I've had 1 showing, and I'm like totally devastated, thinking, oh my gosh, I thought we would get blown up with it, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we can talk about it. We can strategize and see what's happening. You know, the key is to look at the competitive listings. Are they going under contract, or are they sitting as well? So if the competitive listings are sitting, then that means it's a market issue, and maybe they are all overpriced. All of them are overpriced. The house is beautiful. It looks nice. The photos are great. So we know it's not the marketing. Then it's usually the price or the house that needs to match the price. But yeah, check out the other listings, look at the pendings, look at the ratio of active to pendings, and it'll tell you if you're in the right range. You can also call people. What I've done in the past when I'm like perplexed and I'm like, you know, it seems like I'm priced right. It seems like, you know, it's the marketing pieces are in the right place. I'll call the competitive listings, and I'll just say, another house in the neighborhood or whatever. I'll call the agent and say, hey, what kind of activity? Are you getting good activity? People will usually tell you. They'll say yes, no, whatever. You know, that's one way you can collaborate with agents, you know.
Okay.
It is a beautiful, beautiful listing.
Yeah, I mean, it has upgrades and everything, and it even has the air conditioning and the AC and heat in the garage and in one of the big sheds out there. And I mean, we took a while to make sure that the price was right, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's something. It's either the price, the market, or the marketing. So you got to have all those things kind of match.
Okay.
So, yep, we'll chat about that.
Teresa, what is it priced at? I shared it, but what is it priced at? I forgot.
It's $359.
So, I mean, just my experience with my Chesterfield people, I mean, maybe I just don't have people who have a high budget, but every single person I've had has been like 315, 300 or lower. So,
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying to base only my experience in Chester and Chesterfield off of your listing, but it could, I mean, I was brainstorming with Elena like a couple weeks ago, and we're like these higher price points, not saying that 350 is a higher, but that could be it. You know, those people might not be shopping right now. So that's just something to take back to your buyer. I don't know. I'd have to do some research, but just a little bit of insight. All my Chesterfield people are like 315 max right now. So yeah.
All right.
I think
Yeah,
that
another thing on the pricing strategy is typically people aren't putting in searches at 359 and less, right? They're doing 350 or less, 375 or less. So what happens is when you're on the lower end of that $25,000 price point, then you're competing with listings that could potentially be nicer than yours, bigger than yours, better shape, better location, whatever, because you're competing with homes that are 375, 374, and you're at 359, you know, saying, hey, maybe we're not as nice as those homes, but they're popping up on the same searches that the buyers are finding. And you know, talking to her, you know, if you don't get good activity, maybe one strategy is to get it under that 350 point, and then it opens up to many more eyeballs, because people are out there, they're searching for homes, and they punch in these numbers: 325 and less, 350 and less, 375 and less. And once you get it there, all of a sudden people that had not seen it before, all of a sudden they see it. And then all the competition that they're looking at, that you're competing with, are all of a sudden homes between 325 and 350. So then yours is probably way better than those, so it looks better as compared to the other relative listings. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a thought, but we can look at that kind of a little
Yeah, I mean,
closer.
this house is like, I mean, when you walk in, it's just very, I don't know, it's just on point. It's almost like it was just built, you know?
Yeah.
So
It's awesome. Cool. What else is going on? Give me some good stuff. We need to hear some good things.
Just ratified a contract last night, and the sellers had received 10 offers.
No way.
wow,
And we got it.
that is
That's
awesome.
crazy.
And it sold for 28,000 over asking. That's crazy. Katarina put in a great offer.
That's
I think it was a little underpriced.
Underpriced her.
wow.
And it was, yeah, it's only like, what, 303? It's not like a huge price range.
Wow. That's insane.
How did you convince them to go up that high?
I mean, it's not, I did not convince her. Because honestly, what I don't want is I don't want someone getting a contract and then regretting it.
Yeah.
But what I told her is I was like, I sent her comps and I was like, so you can see that like there are, I'm trying to share something very exciting. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if you sent comps.
So I sent her comps and was able to show her like there are houses that are priced where this one is priced right there. But then there are nice ones here, like this one that sold way above 300. So you can justify almost any price point here. You can justify it. So I asked her to talk with her loan officer about monthly payments and where she feels comfortable and find the number, the price where she would be okay losing the house. So what's the price you'd be willing to pay or not pay where you're willing to not buy this house? And she picked a number and it worked. We did an escalation clause. We also had to it's a 30-day close, 10-day inspection period. We came in at asking, did a $45,000 escalation clause, and we offered to cover a certain amount of we offered to cover up to $5,000 difference if the home doesn't appraise.
Wow, that is really aggressive.
That is a mad good offer. Wow.
We were not a shoo-in for it either. There were 10 offers and we were in the top 4 and finally got it in the end.
Did you write a letter? Did they write a letter?
No, she doesn't really have I mean, she could be like, I love your house. It's like everyone does. And she's not a family or anything.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a sad story.
She doesn't really have any compelling, like, I'm by myself.
So was this just like she knew that like she didn't want any other house? This is the house that she had to have, so it motivated her?
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome house. It's so cool and it's wonderful and it's right next to Willow Lawn and it's fantastic. But I knew, when a listing's compelling, you know these things. I was like, it's going to be multiple offer. It's going to be extremely competitive. So you need to think about, meditate on what's the price where you don't want this house anymore. Think about, and she talked to her loan officer about like, okay, this is the monthly payment I would be comfortable with in this home. So what's the purchase price that matches up with that? And that's what we put as our ceiling on our escalation clause.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it worked. It was very exciting.
Nice job. That's amazing.
I love it. What's the address on it? Ouch.
It's Betty. What is this?
1706.
Yeah.
Betty.
Betty.
It's like right down the street from me, but our house will probably not go for 28,000 over. It's
Oh
very
yeah,
nice.
this is a great area.
Is
Mhm.
Taylor on here?
She
Yes.
was, not now.
It's a great spot.
I
It's
was like, she has a listing coming up.
such a pretty house. And yard. I mean, it's this huge corner lot and like.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with the stairs.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Anybody have any listings coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah, give us your 15-second pitch on a listing. Boom, go.
Mannequin
Who's got
Road
it?
hitting the market the end of the week. 219, less than 10 minutes from the mall.
Is it in Goochland?
And Mannequin, right?
Yeah, Mannequin Road,
That will sell
Centerville.
really
Yeah.
bad.
I think
It's
so.
teeny though, right? Not a real small house.
Teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny house.
I think Taylor has one coming up. I think it's like 199. It's in Glen Allen High School District. It's off of Bent Pine. It's 2 bedrooms. It's tiny, but I think it'll be a good. It's on an acre. It would be a great rental property.
Awesome. Cool. What else you guys got? What else you working on?
I'm trying to get somebody to buy a house and sell theirs. We're very close.
What's their house like? Maybe we got a buyer.
Their house is in King's Charter. It's probably going to be between 375 and 390, 5 bedrooms, pristine. It's not like super nicely updated, but it's completely perfect. And yeah, they need a certain amount of money to get the next house. And so they love a house, and we've seen it twice. And Judy Kilgore wants me to put in an offer, but they really want to make sure that they could buy the next house. They want me to like write it down in blood what they can get for their current house. You know what I mean? They really want me to say like, oh, you will definitely get 390 for this house. So you know how much to put in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've told them many times I cannot promise that, but I've given them a good indicator. So their house is great in King's Charter in Hanover County. I think it would sell quickly. I really do. But anyway, we'll see. And then I have that listing that's still for sale, over 55 in Hanover County. I have somebody who wants it, they said, but they don't have their money yet. So that's a problem. Need money.
Money's coming.
Money's coming. There's a lot of people I work with that say their money is coming.
The Lord needs to release it. Just
Yeah.
turn the
So if
key.
the Lord could release money to all my clients, that would be great.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. I want to continue going over our contract and hit a couple paragraphs today on it real quickly. So I'm going to present my screen. Let me know when y'all can see it. Where is this thing? Can y'all see
I
it?
see it.
Okay. All right. So last week we talked about the financing. This week we'll hit 7 and 8. 7 is real quick one, wire fraud alert. Why is that important? How would you explain it to a client?
Ben, somebody else talk. I don't want to hear myself talk.
When you wire money, people can take it. I don't know. I just know in all of the loan officers' signatures, it literally explains that paragraph.
If you get an email from someone who appears to be your loan officer or your title company and says, "Hey, we've changed the wiring instructions. Send it over here." Don't do that. Do not do that, because that might not be your loan officer or your title company. So it is warning people that you need to talk to your loan officer, your title company, and make sure you have the right wiring instructions before you send money, because you might wire money to a rando who scammed you.
Exactly. Good way to put it. Don't wire money to randos. Cool. Very important, because the real estate industry is, has succumbed to many phishing scams. And, you'll even get, we got an email. I don't know if y'all got this, but I got an email about a year ago that supposedly came from Patrick Sanderson. But it was not Patrick Sanderson. It was saying something about, "Hey, I need you to wire some money to me," or something like that. And I was like, Patrick would never send me an email to wire him money. So what they're doing is they're finding out who the principal brokers are and then sending messages to the agents. So if you get something from me, obviously I'm not asking you to wire money, but this is more applies to your clients. When there's a pending deal, it becomes public information. Scammers find out who the agents are, who the lenders are. They'll create an email account that looks like, Rick Gilbert at Break Pro Mortgage, but it's not, if you look at it closely. So just be careful of stuff like that. All right, deposit. Purchaser shall make a deposit of blank to be held by blank in the form of a check, cash, escrow, whatever. Somebody had the question last night, can a deposit be money order or cashier's check? I answered the question oppositely of what I meant to say, but it can be a cashier's check. Cashier's check is good. The key is it needs to be trackable or traceable. And Kat will tell you in her loan officer days, if you just bring cash, let's say just bring cash, they want to know, like, where did that money come from? Did you steal $5,000? Did your mama give you $5,000? Did you borrow it from your buddy and you have some kind of off deal loan going on or something like that? They want to know where the money came from. If it's going to be accredited to you. So a money order is kind of like bringing cash, because you can't track it. Of course, a lot of people have money orders because they have bank accounts that are overdrawn, or they don't have a bank account. Money orders, when I've had clients ask to do that and do it, it's usually a bad sign that they probably shouldn't be buying a house if they're overdrawn in their bank account or they don't have a bank account. But always check with the loan officer. I think that's key. Just say, hey, is a money order okay? Or do they need something else? Because most of the time I've heard loan officers will say no to that. The deposit, you cannot put TBD here. You can't put purchaser's choice. You got to make it very clear who's holding the money. Now, the closing attorney, down a little further, you can put that stuff. It's not as big of a deal, but it needs to be specified who is holding the money, because when something goes south or the deal falls through for whatever reason, you got to specify this company is holding the money, and you need to be able to find that company, right? You need to be able to track, okay, yeah, we put it in with so-and-so's, title company or attorney or whatever it is, and, they're going to release the funds per this release agreement. $500 to the buyer, $500 to the seller, whatever it is. You need to put someone specific there. Mishandling of this money is a big, big, big no-no. This is like license revocation type of stuff if you mishandle it, right? If your client gives it to you and then you don't get it to the person in time, that's on you, right? I think it's personally always better to have the client bring it to the closing company that's holding it. And then but it's your job as an agent to push them to that, push them, make sure you've done it, you get it done, you get it done, you get it done. Because if it's not done, what happens? Anybody know? Somebody want to read it, or somebody want to know if it doesn't get deposited, what are the consequences?
The purchaser is in breach of the contract.
Yep. That's what it says right there. Purchaser fails to deposit money set forth there, they're in breach of the contract. So if you put 3 days and they deposit it on the 4th day, they are in breach of the contract. And then the remedy, there's always a remedy at seller's option. And in lieu of all of the remedies set forth in this agreement, seller may terminate this agreement by written notice. So if your client gets, wins out on a 10-person offer deal, and they're so excited, and they put their deposit in the next day, and then all of a sudden the seller gets somebody who wants to pay them $1,000 more. First thing they could be doing is looking to see, have you deposited the money? And well, yeah, it went in the next day. Okay, cool. We're terminating. We're taking this next offer, and then they're screwed. They can lose it because the seller can just terminate unilaterally. They don't need your other person's permission. By written notice of purchaser, neither party shall have further obligation to each other. If the escrow agent is a VREB licensee, the parties agree the escrow agent to place a deposit in escrow account by the end of the 5th business day. And that means once they receive the deposit, once the company holding the deposit receives it, they have 5 days to put it in. That's on them, but it's not a bad idea for you to make sure that those people know if they do a lot of closings, then you really don't have to explain that to those people.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you just said, did you mean to say that, because you said that for your example, where the seller's got another offer, $1,000 more, if the purchaser did not deposit the check in the time that was stated, because you said if they did do it the next day.
Yeah, if they did it the day after it was due is what I mean.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
as long as they do it within the time frame, the seller can't
Correct.
just be like, never mind, I found a different offer while you were in within.
Well,
your
you had no.
days.
As long as they do it within whatever you say, if you say 3 days, as long as they do it within 3 days, you're locked in. But I'm saying if you do it the 4th day, they can look back and track that, and then you can be
Okay, got it. Thank you.
be at risk of losing it. And the deposit can't be released until everybody signs something releasing it. Obviously, that's a big deal. And then obviously they can release it when the deal closes, or if it becomes foreclosed. This is another thing. If the house is foreclosed while this agreement is pending, the term, you have to read this section of this code, shall apply to the disbursement of deposit. Foreclosure shall be deemed a termination of the agreement by the seller, blah, blah, blah. So any questions or thoughts on any of this stuff? Very, 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 very important that you get these deposits in on time. It's very important you specify who it is that's holding it. If for some reason there's a delay in it, get an addendum signed on that thing right away. It's not the end of the world. It just means that your client is in breach and you need to fix it really quickly. Just say that all parties agree to extend the deposit date to X, and whatever the date is after they've deposited it. Get everybody to sign that. Questions, comments, thoughts? This is a real exciting part of our industry. All right. Cool. All right. I want to hear what you guys need from our company. What can our brokerage do for you through the time of COVID-19 and the quarantine, or whatever you want to call this? What can we be doing to help you guys? I also want to hear, as we chat a little bit, what are your feelings? What are your thoughts about working from home versus coming into the office? Are you getting into a new normal? Are you feeling like you're getting into a productivity state? Do you feel like coming into the office is going to happen for you coming up soon? And I'll explain while I'm asking that kind of question, but kind of a twofold question, like what can we be doing to help you? And then how are you guys looking at this whole thing moving forward? As we got another 20 minutes or so, we can chat a bit.
Daniel, when are you thinking of resuming meetings?
Yeah, so I was looking at it this morning. So the orders from the governor that start the 15th still include the 10-person max. So I would say we probably want to wait till, I'm guessing he's going to put that in phase 2, which hopefully if phase 1 they say is, 10 to 14 days or something like that, who knows, he could do it longer or shorter. But it's when I think the next phase is like 50 people or less is what I heard. Has anybody heard that or anything different?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the company meetings. Of course, Gather's open. Anybody that wants to come in right now. That's a little different, but getting us all together as one big group. I definitely think I want to go back to that. And we chatted a little bit yesterday. We're going to go to, our Tuesday meetings, but I think it would be awesome to do a Thursday training webinar for folks that would be willing to, give a little 30-minute chat or 15 or whatever it is about stuff. Because it's been great. It's been awesome. I appreciate everybody contributing to that. But, not 3 days a week, but back to when we're kind of back to normal, 1 day a week on a Thursday. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking about as far as our get together meetings. I miss you guys. I miss seeing all of y'all in one place and the energy and smiling faces. I love this, but right now I'm looking at a picture of Ashley, a picture of Betsy and Teresa. They're nice pictures. They're really nice pictures. But and it's not.
You can see me holding my son. That.
Yeah. Elena, I have that same shirt.
Oh, there's Teresa.
I don't want to show y'all my face. My allergies
If
are
y'all
kicking my
muted.
butt. So y'all can't see me right now.
What?
My allergies. I got my allergy shots yesterday.
Oh.
And they basically put more allergies in me. So it made me feel like dog poop this morning. So I'm not letting my eyes are
it's fine.
swollen.
No, I'm just saying there's an element lost in general to virtual meetings. It's great that we have them. And it's awesome, and it's been good. But the face to face, I think, is where we really can grow and sharpen each other even better. So.
Look at
What
that.
can we do? What can we do for you guys? Everybody, I want to hear from everybody, agent, staff, whatever. This is your time to either vent or, give us some suggestions or whatever.
I have one thing that I was, sorry, Duke. Duke's computer up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we can't have group meetings in here in Shark Tank like where me and Duke are, but agent of the day, there's only 2 agent of the days on. I would encourage anybody, if they feel comfortable, because I'm agent of the day today, to come into the office. Because if there was at least 2 of us here that are agent of the day, we could help each other, collaborate a little bit, motivate people a little bit. And it would be a good excuse to kind of get out of the house. Like, I'm agent of the day, so I got to go in today. That's just my thoughts. We could easily use Shark Tank or Hustle. You can have 4 people in Hustle, 6 in Shark Tank.
That's a great idea. I like that idea.
Is that their number, Ben? 6 in the Shark Tank?
Yes, 6 in Shark Tank.
Gotcha. That's cool. What else? What's going on? What challenges you guys having? None? That's awesome.
Working from home is not ideal, and working without childcare is like laughable.
Yeah.
I end up doing a lot of work during Kyla's nap and after she goes to bed.
Yeah.
But I don't really.
The only issues I've been having are not ones that you can solve.
So in-house daycare.
Yeah.
Can you send me an au pair, please? That
Send you over there. Someone who has been totally quarantined for 2 months.
she needs quarantine, and then she just comes directly to my house and stays here.
Yeah.
Is it?
I just think the trainings that we've had have been great. Just keeping us all on our toes, and I do think it'd be good to just do it one day a week now on Thursdays. I think that's a great idea, and I love hearing about from everybody else and what they do and their style. It's really helpful. Maybe sharing. I always think this is so great. Like every week or at some point, like just some mastermind type things of it's cool to hear like people's mistakes, like if they've had a problem, even though it's no fun, it's not positive. Like what's been your biggest challenge this week with real estate?
Yeah.
Like what's been a problem? What mistake have you made, that you can share with the other people on the team that we can benefit from?
Yeah, it's good. Good. Yeah,
Because
maybe that could be part of our Thursday talks. Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, just because like the challenges are very, very common, like very frequent.
Yeah.
Just whether it's dealing with clients, whether it's dealing with a contract, whether it's dealing with writing offers, like what's a challenge that came up that is out of the ordinary? And you would know, you get calls all the time from all of us more than, what are some challenges that come up that you could share with all of us that we could all benefit from,
Sure. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like it. Cool.
I don't really think I have anything else. I've enjoyed working from home in some ways. It's helped me to focus, and it forces me to like come in here and think about my company on the back end and plan better and think about it from a higher perspective. So it's forced me and my husband to also communicate better about it, and it's good. But I don't want to be here every day. This is not ideal. I enjoy being with other people. That's why I joined this company, so I could be with other people. So I'd like to come to the office a couple days a week for sure.
Cool. So they've offered us, our company, the suite. I don't know if you guys have seen it or have been in there, but it's the largest suite that they have here, and we're probably, I'm assuming, the biggest company per person count at Gather. It's kind of more set up for 2, 3, 4, 5 person companies in these little offices and stuff like that. So this suite is pretty cool. It's got a big open working area with 16 desks. So it could be like floating desks, plus even more space. So you really could bring in more chairs and stuff like that. It's, think about it as maybe like twice the size of the Shark Tank room, roughly, is the open area. And then it has 5 private offices, anywhere from 2 to 3 person offices. So they could be used in many different ways. They could be floating desks. They could be, private places where somebody wants to go and make a call. It could be for our staff. It could be whatever. So she was leasing this thing for when the market was, not with COVID-19, $10,000 a month. It's very, very nice, and they're offering it to us for a very, very steep discount right now. And because this place is just not being used, that place is empty. If you guys come in here, I mean, usually you hear tons of people in the offices talking and all this stuff. But I read the other day, one of the biggest industries that's going to be hurt because of this stuff is the commercial real estate industry. If you think about it, because but what also is growing during this time, things like this, virtual meetings. They say Microsoft stock is like going crazy because of their virtual meeting app, is like exploding, so some companies are making tons of money. Mr. Bill Gates probably loves all this stuff going on. But Zoom stock is taking off. So people are getting more comfortable working from home, and where they want to work from home, or just companies are adapting and stuff like that. The commercial real estate industry is struggling right now. They're very much struggling, and they're trying to figure out what their new normal is going to be like. Is it going to be like this temporarily, or are a lot of companies? But a lot of stories are coming out where big giant corporations are shutting down their brick and mortar offices and moving towards virtual working. And so, I mean, I think there's some cool aspects to that. But I believe long term, whether it's our industry or maybe human nature in general, but I think people work together better when, we come together, at least on some occasion. I'm not saying we have to sit and face each other every single day, 5 days a week, but I believe in that community. I believe in sharpening each other. I believe there is a special energy when somebody is sitting in the room with somebody, looking across. Again, not to take away that we can use things like this to our advantage and we can adapt and grow. And you guys have been awesome and have done that through this technology. But eventually, you know, my dream, my goal is to get us back to that. My question I want to know for you guys is that a direction that, you know, you guys would want to go in? Is this, you know, I guess what I'm getting at is I don't want to sign a lease for a still relatively expensive space. And you know, our agents in the company say, well, I'm more productive at home. Like I want to be, you know, or I have to be at home because of whatever, you know, is going on. And I know some of you guys do. You know, I think about Kat. I think, you know, I know you, for instance, love coming here as much as anybody, but you're pregnant. You're trying to, you know, keep your family safe and healthy and all this stuff, and going out while you're pregnant with the baby, so it just doesn't make any sense. So. But of course, that's, you know, that's in the next few months, things could change, and that's not long term. So I'm not imploring anybody to change anything right now. I just want to kind of get the feeling of what y'all are thinking, and if you guys think there is value in a collaborative space that literally, as our company sits right now, we could house every single person in this office suite, or just, you know, being honest with me, like, you know, you feel like you're being as productive at home. You see yourself working from home more in the future than doing that. Then, you know, we'll adapt and shift. Now we're growing. I met with 2 agents yesterday. One guy's he's on board. He's joining. Ben, where you at? Hervey. I mean, he's a great dude. He's gonna be an awesome asset. He's on board. He passed the state portion. He didn't pass the federal, but he's taking the federal in the next couple of days. This guy has got businesses. He's a great resource, guys. Super smart. He's set up 3 UPS stores that run themselves. He's a retired sergeant in the police force in Richmond.
Whoa.
And I don't think he's maybe older than his late 40s. Like, I don't think he's any older than that. It's pretty amazing. But super smart, hard worker. He's going to join with us. He's excited about it. He's interviewed with tons of different companies. He's telling me about it. KW, EXP, Long and Foster, all these different companies he talked to. But you know what it was? It was you guys. He said, I love the collaboration. He's like, I love the things I'm learning from this stuff. He's a referral from Ben. He knows Ben. He talked all these good things about Ben. So he's coming to join with us. So our company's going to be growing, I guess, is the point I'm getting at. Again, I met with another person there. There's probably 6 or 8 people that I would say in the next 60 days that are probably going to jump on with us. And so, you know, we need to think about the future and the growth and what we want to do. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think about all this stuff.
I thought being in a collaborative place would be awesome.
Who said that, Ashley?
Sorry, I don't know. I can't see who's getting ready to talk on my phone, so I just kind of have to talk because I can't tell who's getting ready.
Actually, I mean, personally, like, I don't think it's a different level of productivity and energy when you're in an office. If I didn't feel like I was risking if I felt like I knew I wasn't risking my safety, I would be in Gather. I would have someone watching Kyla, and I would be in Gather.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I expect that feeling probably won't change. I'm always going to have days of the week when I feel like I'm not risking, like when I know that it's safe. I feel like I'm always going to have days of the week scheduled to be in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, I, as a newbie and also someone who came from a corporate environment where I worked in the office for several years and then in a transition to work at home, and all of my kids went to work at home, etc. It's nice to be home. I'm talking like, you know, in an ideal situation where like your child's in daycare and you're just working. So your home is your office. It's nice. There's a certain comfortability about it. And it is good to have days where you can throw the little laundry in or vacuum in between and things like that. But as a whole, it's a completely different mindset, I think, that you get when you're at home and you're alone. Especially like with real estate. If I did not have you guys, like all of you, because all of you have helped me at some point, I would not be doing as well as I'm doing or continuing to do well or anything, because you guys are making it a positive experience for me, because there are really, really tough days, especially with all this stuff going on, where I feel like super alone and just super down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And then I'll talk to someone who's like, no, this is okay. Like, you're going to get through it. This is what happened to me. Here's how you can fix it, or, you know, anything. And without that, it's just lonely, you know? And like the last 2 or 3 weeks, once I've been starting to feel more comfortable, Ashley and I have been going into the office like 1 or 2 days, and it might even just be for like a few hours, but just to like see someone else's face and be able to like have a face-to-face conversation and be like, well, this is what's happening. It makes all the difference. So if we
I
had
feel like we're more productive too. Like,
yeah. Or
we
like,
can-
you know, I'm not on if I'm getting distracted, Ashley will be like, did you do what you were supposed to do? And I'll be like, no, I didn't. Let me go do that. Or I'll be like, Ashley, did you call that person? Let's do it now. And, you know, she's doing her thing, I'm doing mine, but we can still help and motivate each other. So if we were all in that, what'd you call it, Daniel? Like that suite where we could all sit together once everything's safe. I just think that would be, you know, times 10, you know, that little bit of motivation, you add more people to it, more people motivating each other and helping each other out. It would just equal a lot more success for everyone, especially the newer people like myself who really, really thrive off of that. And I'll definitely come into the office. I mean, I'm not going to lie. There's going to be probably 1 or 2 days where I'm like, I need to be home so that I can, you know, meal prep or vacuum or put the laundry in. And but that's, you know, 1 or 2 days out of a 7-day week. I think a lot of my time would probably be spent in the office.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hypothetically, as a real estate agent, if you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're busy showing homes, listing properties, that kind of stuff. I mean, you're not going to be in the office 5 days a week. That's just, it shouldn't be that way. Yeah. But I appreciate the feedback.
Especially where I live, because I live in Mechanicsville. I came into the office because I had like 2 or 3 showings in the West End, 1 in Louisa, and then like 1 in Chesterfield. Well, the office is way closer to all of those things than my house is. So for me, it makes more sense for me to come into the office, and maybe I come and go several times that day, but I'm still going in because it's closer to all of those locations than where I am.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I also do well with visual things. So if we can have like what our company is doing and like a big board up with all the, you know, all the listings that everybody has, and we have all the closings that everybody has, and a big calendar for the year of when our events are, and, you know, like that would be
like an elementary school classroom.
Yes. That's what I
need.
need.
Your project.
I need an elementary school classroom with like motivational signs on the wall and like calendars and like, you know, I don't know what is going on in our company at all. I want to know like by looking with a glance, what is going on? Are we doing well as a company? Are we not doing well? Like, what's Scott doing? Is he sitting at home picking his nose all the time, or has he got pending deals? I don't know. I haven't seen Scott in months. I want to like know how to encourage people, or, you know, or copy them.
Yeah, that's so very profound.
Yeah. So it would be, I really, really would benefit from some visual wall stuff.
Yeah. Well, in the suite, I mean, in any of these offices, you know, we had the freedom to put whatever we wanted up. I don't think they were painting walls, but we can paint things. And
if we got those like clear calendars for the year, and we like everybody knew our thing was here, is, you know, our movie day is here, and everybody sees it every day. We're always like, every time we pop in the office, we all are reminded, hey, don't forget to email your people and invite them to this thing, or hey, it's the close of the month, you know, and these are all the people that, you know, these are the big, you know, have like this is Kat, she got the most deals for the month. Yay, there she is. Like, it's sort of inspiring to see.
Yeah, sure.
And to see Brittany. I haven't seen her in forever. She's probably like pregnant. Are you pregnant, Brittany? And we don't even know about it.
I am indeed not. Just
Okay.
throwing it out there.
I saw her the other day. She's not pregnant.
Yeah, not pregnant.
You
She
did?
looks extra
Okay.
fit, though. She's been working out. She
Yeah,
said she
not
looks great.
pregnant, super skinny, all good.
Aspiring to become an Instagram famous person.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's awesome.
I just want people to pay me money and send me on trips just for posting pictures. I don't know. One day.
I think I miss Brittany. I miss Duke. It's great to have like a central hub where we can actually go and, pop in and be excited to see each other. And,
Now, Daniel, did they make you sign that like during all of this to get whatever deal they're offering you, or is it like a future? Is it like a if you agree to it, then we'll start it in a future date? Like, what are they requiring you to do?
We haven't agreed to. I haven't signed anything yet, but she said she'd be open to like a graduated lease amount. So starting lower and then working up higher. But I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty sure this place and all of her businesses are probably struggling a little bit. I think a lot of people they said came to them and said, "Can I get a discount? I need to get out of my lease. I need to do that." So they're trying to fill in spaces. I just need to know if taking advantage of, bigger space by spending more money is something advantageous to everybody, or do we, continue with this setup that we have and run more lean, to be honest, a lot more lean. But there's, we can get it for a steep discount right now if we take advantage of it at the moment.
I think we can all say we respect your choice if you wanted to run more lean. I mean, nobody's, we're all like, it's your choice. We're fine with whatever.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, but I'm going to ask you guys because I want to know, I go back and forth on this stuff a lot. I'm like, I personally, I want the collaboration, but I love real estate and the fact that it gives us the flexibility. That's one of the beauties of this job, to work from different places. But at the same time, I believe in the face-to-face energy that we have, like I said. But I need to know what other people are thinking and how the company, and that's why I asked the question, what can we do to serve you guys better? Because, from agents to staff, this is about you guys. It's not about me. What I want, I'm just on a journey just to try to figure out how I can serve you guys in the best way. And so I need to hear that. I need to hear, the feedback, basically.
Well, one of the reasons I don't come up there now is because even if we came up there now, I'd be isolated. So I might as well just stay in my room.
Yeah.
I drive 25 minutes to go sit in a phone booth by myself.
Exactly.
So, or sit just with you in a room, which is so sweet, but
so boring.
It's distracting when you're two people in a 3x3 room and you're trying to talk on the phone. It doesn't make any sense. It has to be a bigger room where there's places to move and go. It can't be, otherwise you might as well just be stuck in your bedroom, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, it's just real interesting how the industry, the market in general, business in general is changing, I think, because of this whole thing. And we'll look back a year from now and be like, wow, like a lot of things have shifted. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen, with our type of industry and our business, where you have companies like EXP just pushing virtual and I have friends at EXP sharing like screenshots of them doing those virtual meetings. It's so weird. I always think about, guys ever watch The Office where Dwight talks about his Second Life character, and then he has a Second Life character to be even further removed from reality. But that's what I look. So it's like a cartoon image of yourself, and you're sitting in a crowd and you're watching a speaker on a cartoon image in a stage. And I'm like, oh, I just like cringe when I see that. I'm like, is this where we're going? Like, is this what people want? Like, it maybe is. But if that is, it makes me very sad if that's what people want and they thrive off of. But it is what it is. If that's what it is, if we're going completely virtual, but it'll be interesting to watch and just see. Some people probably prefer that. Some people, the question is, where are we the most productive as people, as agents, whatever? That's the question I want to ask too. Is like, comfort is not always the best question to ask. Like, what I'm most comfortable with. I'm most comfortable sitting in my bed and eating cereal and then, watching Netflix and then maybe doing a little real estate work. But I know I'm not being productive that way, right? So comfortability isn't always equal to productivity. So long term, I'm just, trying to figure out how we balance that, and some people I know are way more productive at home than I am personally. So I'm not, making a blanket judgment statement on that because I just know myself. But anyway, so yeah, if you guys don't mind, just be praying for me to make a good decision, praying if you guys have insight or thoughts or anything, please reach out to me. I want to hear from all you guys. Some of you guys I haven't heard from. Jason, Betsy's texting me. I appreciate that. Her thoughts, and Debbie, Teresa, Sarah, Brittany, Duke. All you guys would love to hear, everybody's thoughts on all this stuff as we don't have to talk about it now if you're not comfortable, but, as we go along, please pray for me to make a good decision. So anyways, that's what I got. All
right. Sounds good.
Appreciate you guys. What are you looking at the back of Ben's head? What is going on over there?
I'm trying to plug the charger in.
All right. Sounds good. Good seeing y'all. Hey, Kat, you're on for tomorrow? You got something for us? She's folding laundry somewhere.
Yeah. I'm sitting on the floor in my pantry with my toddlers. Yes, I was thinking about tomorrow doing a talk on how to tell if your client is a candidate for building new construction and what questions to ask to take them to the right builders.
Cool. That's awesome. Good idea. Good. Something you have a lot of knowledge on and something that'd be very valuable, I think. So that's good. Good topic.
Kyla, say bye.
All right. Bye. All right. Well, I'll see you guys. Love y'all. Have a great day.
Bye.
Let me know what I can do.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye, Kai.
Bye.
Bye.